Hey there, Flo here. Didn't get much done today, didn't go anywhere really, but it was really hot today. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll end up doing much tomorrow. It's late again, as usual, when I'm starting, and today I'm just going to do some photo editing. So I am ridiculously behind on photo edits. But I'll probably not do a whole lot of talking. Just do stuff. So my workflow is typically to use, where I usually shoot in RAW with my mirrorless camera, and I usually, well, these days I develop in Capture One, which is similar to Lightroom, but much more affordable, and I like it better. And I shoot a lot of panorama shots, so if I have to work on those, I use Hugin. This Capture One of their most recent versions, they added HDR support or HDR merging and panorama stitching, but I did a few tests on the panorama stitching and I wasn't very happy with it. So I still typically use Hugin, the pre-program. It's a little bit complicated, but I've gotten pretty used to it over the years. And let's see, what else? If I'm doing any like edits on the photos later, I typically use Affinity Photo. It's a Photoshop alternative. Very cheap and pretty good. But I don't usually use that much when I'm editing. I decided not to show a face cam today because there's not really much point. It just covers up what I'm doing. This won't be educational at all. It's more just a relaxing chill, listen to the music while I work on photos stream. It's my typical stuff. Well, actually, I think this is the first time I've done photo editing on Odyssey. I've done it a lot of times on other platforms. Okay, so almost every set of photos that I take, I start out by taking a photo of my phone with the clock on it. It shows the seconds, and the reason for that is my cell phone is synced to, real time. It's actual correct time, whereas my camera does not sync to any clock or anything, so it's always way off. And so I like to correct the time on all my photos and the exif information, because if I don't, when I go to geotag them using a GPS recording, it will be off quite a bit. So that's the only reason I take these photos. Kind of a tradition though, because I try to remember to take one at the beginning of every hike or outing or whatever, just in case the internal clock of my camera changes, because it changes over time. Like, it's gotten more and more off over time. But I usually develop these pointless photos too. One thing that, I'm no expert in photo editing or anything like that, not in photography either, so I'm not trying to teach anybody anything here. I'm just kind of doing it my way, and some people might cringe and others might whatever. Anyway, it's not really meant to be a learning experience particularly. Of course, if anybody did drop by and had a question or had some interesting thing to talk about, that would be fine. Otherwise, I'll just do my thing. My general preference in editing photos is to make it look as close to how I remember it actually looked when I was there. I don't do any artistic editing, really. Let's try to make it look how I remember. These highlights are blown, and it's also the reason it's out of focus is because I'm focusing on the phone here to get the time. This isn't really a particularly composed shot or anything. Of course, I don't really spend a lot of time composing my shots anyway. I kind of just snap shots as I go because I'm more into hiking than I am photography, but I like to take photos just to kind of remember my adventures. Let's see. They just updated Capture 1 2, and they have these little header icons on each section. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I'll probably have to eventually, I might have to oh, cool. And network, oops. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. Okay, this might work. Wait, what's that? I don't know what that is. What is that? Output. Drag. Yeah, this is all new, so I'm trying to get used to it here. That's weird. Why is there two of the same icon? One of them's blank. Can't get rid of it. There we go. I guess. I don't know. Okay, so generally I just use these two tabs. Okay. I don't save my raw files because I have so many. It's ridiculous. My hard drive is huge and it's like full. And so yeah, maybe someday I'll be like, man, I wish I would have edited it this way. And wish I could go back and change it, but oh well. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is I don't know if I said this or not, but I was thinking it. My monitors are not color corrected at all, and so it's quite likely what I see on my screen is different than what the stream shows, and I even have more than one monitor, and if I drag my programs between them, they don't match. And yeah, I'm not a pro by any means. It's really annoying to me that they don't match, but I don't really have an easy way to get that to work. I'd like to get my monitors calibrated, my printer calibrated, my scanner, all that stuff, but it's just not something I know much about. I think, like, I watched some videos on it, and I think it's pretty... Generally, you have to buy this device that, like, reads the color information on your monitor as you're adjusting things. And yeah, anyway, it's a pain. I don't know. It's too complicated for me at this point. So I just deal with it. But yeah, I definitely sometimes go back to my old photos and think, wow, that's really dark, or that looks kind of dumb, but whatever. This is really throwing me off with their changes. Every time they make a bunch of changes, it might be for the better in the long haul, but it's just not familiar to me. Let's see. Plus, I don't edit very often, so sometimes I just forget. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Yeah. So basically I'm just copying the settings from the first one to the second one because they're basically the same photo. One with my phone in it and without. You notice I'm uncropping these like I'm getting new material. It's one of my favorite things about editing these raw photos. I don't know if that's unique to Capture One or if that would happen in other raw editors, but like there's more in the sensor captures that it crops out, and sometimes it's better to not uncrop it or get that extra stuff on the border because it's like kind of warped due to the lens shape and all that. So, but you know, there's a lot of times when you want that stuff. Anyway, so I do often find myself uncropping it. Anyway, let's see. I always forget to do the purple fringing. I don't think this, I've never seen this work in Capture One. It doesn't seem to work. At least it doesn't work when you're zoomed out. Like I can totally see purple, like right, like a ring of kind of purpley right there, but maybe when you zoom in, it's doing its magic. Let's see. I don't know. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't look like it's doing anything. When I have that kind of problem, before I got Capture One, I had ways of getting rid of that. But in this program, I just use the slider because it's just like, there it is right in front of me, but I don't know how smart it is or if it even works. Sometimes I copy the settings, sometimes I start from scratch because it seems often to me, so I usually have my camera on relatively automatic settings for the most part. And it seems to me that every picture is so completely different that it's usually better to start from scratch. But I don't know. Whatever. That's just kind of how I do things. At one time I had a better grasp on the difference between exposure and brightness, and the funny thing is it works totally differently in every single program. So even if you get kind of used to how it works in Photoshop or Lightroom or this Capture One or any other program, you go into some other program and it just doesn't do the same thing. So it kind of throws you off every time you're trying to get that figured out. This is like an obligatory picture. Like I feel like I have to take it, but I never really want to because I've taken the same picture so many times. It's like kind of boring. I don't know why this keeps going to original. It's like I have to click unconstrained every time. I didn't used to have to do that. I think I'm gonna crop this one in just because the stuff around isn't really that cool in this particular case. But this, I don't even like this photo at all. I always try to save every photo, like redeem it, make it not look like crap, but sometimes I can't, and it's just like a waste of time. The exposure on this one is just bad.
It's the party song. Party's over here. Come on!
So I'm walking a fine line here because I don't want to make it look better than it looked like in reality. So it actually was pretty dark. This was like, I think it was after 7 p.m. when I started this hike. And so it was starting to get kind of dark. And this was definitely in a shadow area. So I don't want to like overdo this too much. But if I don't, you know, do it somewhat, like it originally just looked like junk. Like that's just a bad photo. I want to at least make it look viewable, but you could also argue that some of these are so pointless. Like I said, I have to take this photo because it's kind of the feature of this particular hike to go see this tree. But for me, it's not. Like I don't care about the tree. I just walk by it because I've seen it so many times. I don't really care about it, and it's more about the scenery by the water for me. I might mess around with the tint on this one. I mean the white balance is not looking quite how I would want it to in this case. Usually the auto white balance turns out pretty good, but I don't know, something about this is just looking weird to me. I may not be able to figure out how to get it how I want, but that's fine. I'll try. I feel like I'm always spending too much time on every photo in general, but like sometimes I spend the most time on the worst photos. I'm trying to see if I can save them somehow, but usually it's kind of pointless, but at the same time I do end up learning little things here and there, or I may not always remember, but it's like, oh, that worked. That didn't work. Anyway, that's probably good enough. I don't think I can really ever make this one look great. Definitely looks better though. That's for sure. You know, this one's really dark. I don't know why it's so stinky dark. Oh, I mean, I kind of like this dark because if it wasn't dark, then the clouds would be totally bled out. And it's always surprising how much you can pull out of the shadows. I might actually be able to get something out of this. And this is going to be a panorama because it's a vertical 2-image shot. So I always process these as TIFFs so that I can stitch them in Hugin as TIFFs, not as JPEGs, because you don't want to like compress twice. But this, I don't know. This might be one of those shots I should just delete because it's... I think I'm going to be a little bit disciplined right now. I'm just going to delete it. I don't like this photo at all. It's just bad. I could probably get a photo out of it, but it's just like, why am I trying to save just a terrible shot anyway? And I already have that photo a million times over. Another thing I can do that sometimes saves time, but usually not really, is I have all these presets saved. Where are they? Here they are. All these settings that I've used on previous images that I kind of scroll through to see if they look good, but quite honestly, they never look exactly great, perfect how I think it should look, so most of the time I just find it's better just to start from scratch, even though it takes longer. I like giving each image individual attention and figuring out what it needs rather than just applying a preset. It never looks good enough for me. There are a few things though that I should do like on every image, and I'll do that in a minute if I remember. Like I always put clarity around 12 or 15, then I put structure at 8. I put sharpening around close to 300. The numbering system on here is crazy. It goes from 0 to 1,000. Like, so everything's different. So if you're used to settings in a another program like Photoshop or something, and it doesn't work the same here. So these numbers are huge and you would think that's going to overdo it, but it really doesn't. It's very subtle. Like you'd have to go up pretty high for it to even really start doing much, honestly. So usually around, for these nature shots anyway, it depends on the subject matter, but 300 or so usually looks about right. And then put defringe all the way up. It doesn't ever seem to do any harm. Sometimes I question whether it's doing anything at all, but I've never seen it actually do anything bad, so I don't usually shy away from using that. But anyway, there's a few settings, like I usually make saturation up a little bit higher than natural. I usually do contrast to 3. There's kind of things that I've come to do that I feel like they look good on any image. But then, so I really should do all those every time things right away, and then copy those to every photo in the set, and then go back and do whatever extra stuff it needs. And I sometimes remember to do that, but other times I just fumble my way through and make it take longer than it needs to. Again, I could really exaggerate and pull out massive lighting out of here, but it was dark at that time, so I don't want to overdo it. Most people would argue just like make it look good, make it how you want it to look. I prefer to make it look how it actually looked. That's my general goal. I'm not sure I always achieve it, but that's what I'm shooting for. I know I over adjust at times. I have to like tell myself to just quit. The cool thing about Capture One though is that all the settings seem to work well together. They really got their color science down. In other programs, like you just touch the brightness and then you combine that with some other filter and it's just like, ooh, they like kind of work against each other. But in Capture One, they all seem to magically play well together. That's probably good enough for now. Okay, I'm going to try to remember on this next one to do all those every time settings first and then copy them to every image. I'll save a little bit of time. This is one of those cases. Oh, I hate that. I don't know why it's doing that. It's always going to original. Must be a way to set a default there. Anyway, I like to uncrop it when there's too much tension, like it's like too close to the edge of this area. So I have a little bit more there to work with. Same over here, probably. Okay, let's think here. So contrast 3, saturation, let's go about 7 or so. Clarity about 12. Structure 8. Sharpening close to 300. Purple fringing all the way up. What else? I think that might be all my default every image stuff. Yeah. Okay, so then I'm going to take that and copy it to all the rest of the images in the set so I don't have to do that every time. That'll just give me a good starting point. Still have to do a lot of manual adjustments on every single one, but that's okay. Pretty much whenever I do a panorama, I uncrop it all the way. You can see that these are all panoramic. And let me see if I can copy the settings for that. I don't know if it copies the crop unless I explicitly tell it to. No. Can't remember. Where is that? It's got to be one of these thingies. So many checkboxes, like, eh. There we go. A few streams ago, a couple streams ago, I was listing some of my content types off the fly. There's a lot more that I do than what I couldn't come up with a full list. But one of the main ones I forgot was bookbinding. I haven't been doing that lately, so I guess that's why it didn't come to mind. But it's actually been on my mind recently. I want to get back into it. One of the main reasons that's been the case that I haven't been doing it is because my desk is kind of full, or my craft table is pretty much covered with the microscope stuff, and so it's just easier to do that because it's already mostly ready to go. A lot more prep to get a bookbinding stream ready. I discovered this weird, cool combination. I think it was brightness down, exposure up. You would think they kind of are similar and counteract each other or something, but there was this combination that I found at one point that seemed to work really well often. I think that's what it was. It's hard to even put in words what it's doing to the image, but usually looks interesting. Okay, so that's looking decent. I think it's still a little bit dark though. Noticed I tend to leave my images a little bit darker than maybe they should be, but it's because I think in the past I've over adjusted often enough that I'm like, I don't want to do that, so I tend to swing back and forth. I think that's pretty common in art, either photography or painting or drawing or other things. You notice a problem with how you're doing something, and so you kind of adjust the opposite direction, and then you might end up overdoing it in your corrections. Or at least I find myself doing that. Kind of wishing I could pull some out of these shadows here, but I think it's just too dark. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's just try copying those settings to all of these. I know some of them are going to be probably over adjusted possibly, but I don't know, looks okay. If anything, it looks like I might have over adjusted the shadows here. So let's bring back the shadows a little bit. generally looking pretty decent. I don't have to worry too much about matching these exactly in the panorama stitching components because Hugin does an amazing job of blending all that together with its intelligent blending stuff. So as long as each picture looks good individually, they'll usually stitch together pretty well. This one's definitely way overexposed for some reason. Just bring that back down. Not sure why that happened on this one. It's weird. Like it almost looks like a flash was used and it kind of flattens all the shadows out. I don't know why that happened. Yes, that's good. All right, so now I export all these as TIFFs. And this is a little bit time consuming, but it's always worth the effort. It always looks really cool to spend the time to do the Hugin panorama stitching. It's been a while since I've used Hugin too. It's always long breaks between working on photos. So I always go to fast panorama preview window because it has these cool buttons that kind of simplify the process a little bit. Okay, so let's see, where am I? This one, I think. So I got all these TIFFs, just pull those in. I ignore these warnings. And then you just align it. Usually it does a pretty good job. Occasionally there's problems and then I have to manually add nodes, which is a pain in the butt. But not very often. One advantage of the panorama stitching within the latest version of Capture One is it's really fast, like lightning fast, but speed, I mean, quality is more important than speed to me. Okay, this did something weird. I feel like it didn't detect the camera properties very well, because those do not look right at all. Yay. Why would that be? That genuinely does not usually happen, but it's pretty clear that they're not matching up. You can see like cropped off junk here. That's weird. Let me take a quick look at these. Maybe there's something going on that I'm not catching. I wonder if it's not, is it saving the exif information? It should be. That should be working. Don't know. I've never. I don't know if I've ever seen it do this. They're like over curved. You can see like that massive curve on the top of each of those. That's unusual. I've never seen it do that before. Wonder if I have it on some weird setting here that from the last time I was working on it. That's possible, but. Sometimes even when it looks crappy like that, it still stitches, but I don't know, that looks pretty extreme. I'm gonna try it, just gonna stitch it and see if it turns out looking better than it appears here. I mean, it looks terrible, but sometimes that stuff works itself out magically, and if that's the case, I'll just go with it. But it's been a long time since I've seen it look that bad. I guess I can do a quick spot check of the control points here and see if there's anything I can see that looks dreadfully wrong. Those look good. Those look good. It rarely makes mistakes in the control points. Probably, I don't know. My theory, I guess, is that I maybe didn't take enough photos going across, but I don't know. It might turn out anyway. We'll just try it. This always takes a while, though. Technically, I can come in here and start working on the next one while I'm waiting. Some of these, I don't know, I'm never really happy with vertical shots because, I don't know, they annoy me mainly because you can't look at them on a monitor, but on a phone they look good. But on a monitor they just look stupid. I mean, on a LCD screen or whatever, desktop. It always looks like I'm chopping something off, like I want to see what's over here on the right. That's why I usually take panoramas. But panoramas have their own set of challenges for the opposite reason. They don't fit on any monitor or screen. So you have to zoom up. But they always look so cool that I can't resist. I don't know. I don't think I like this image though. It definitely looked better in person than it's looking to me now. I could possibly crop it entirely differently just to see if it looks any more interesting, but probably not. Sometimes you just gotta know when it's like not worth working on one and just delete it. Save yourself some time, and not every image needs to be kept. Okay, so I think this is done. Yes, no. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so here is the final panorama, and at first glance it looks pretty good, but I can definitely see some issues. Some people may not see these things, but like right instantly I see this issue. There's a ton of problems on this tree. This is actually okay. That's what the tree looks like, believe it or not. I think the only real major issue here, this all looks good. If you don't see it or you can't tell if it's messed up, that's a good thing. I think oh, we got a problem right there. Got a mountain cut in half. Sometimes it's hard to explain why this happens. Generally though, it's a parallax problem. Like I don't use a panoramic head or pano head for my, I don't use a tripod either. I just shoot him freehand, and as you're moving along, the things that are closer move differently than the things far away, so that's generally why you get these kind of problems. This side looks pretty good at a glance, but usually or often I can find some issue if I zoom in, which begs the question, why bother zooming in if all I'm going to find is problems? But these trees look like they're intact, not cut in half anywhere. Oh, there we go. There's a little problem there. Pretty good overall, though. I kind of wonder if any of these problems are related to that weird lensing or pincushion barrel type stuff that I was seeing in Hugin. See, the funny thing is, like, the stuff in the foreground, like these trees, I don't see any problems. Unless that's, I can't tell if that's a double tree or if that's an actual issue. I'd have to look at the original images. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It does such a good job stitching him. No, it's a double tree over there, I think. There's two trees there. One's lower than the other. Let's see what. I don't remember which one I was. That was this one. Yeah, so this is the original image, and there are indeed two trees that look very similar right next to each other. Okay, let's compare this with this one. Yeah, that's odd. It's almost, if I didn't know better, I would say I was walking along, because the trees in the foreground look totally fine. It's only the mountain in the back that doesn't match. That's very unusual. So I don't know how I could have been moving that much to cause that kind of problem. I gotta figure this out. That's weird. I don't understand. That doesn't seem possible. Like, all the trees look intact, but the mountain... I moved mountains. I guess I have faith the size of a mustard seed, and I moved the mountain in between those shots somehow. I don't know. That's all I can think of. But, so it's mainly that mountain and then some of these branches. So I'll try to fix it. Let me see. Actually, this is always kind of tedious, but what I can do is I can come in here. I'm still bothered by the shape of these projections. That doesn't look right to me, but I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to see if I can fix this with a mask. Sometimes that works. Okay, I'm going to need to remember all the places that I had issues. So let me open this back up. I guess I could use this as a... Never thought of doing this before, but I could do a circle thing here. Thought there was a problem on that tree, but I guess not. So I have a problem here. I think it was just there. I guess sometimes it's better not to look too close, because if you don't see something, it's better just to let it go, really. Even if it is an issue. If you can't see it, then who else is going to see it? Amazingly, none of these branches got cut in half. Oh, that looks like a repeat. Those things look the same. So I guess that's probably, let me check. That's weird. I don't understand how some of these are happening, because usually if you have one error that's that big right around that same area, you'll have other problems, but I'm not really seeing anything. That looks like a double stick. Maybe there's two of them in the actual image. Let me check. No, there's only one. Okay, so I'll fix that, I guess. That one I could probably live with because it's not that big of a deal, but I may as well fix everything that I notice. This is kind of like one of those matching games. Find the mistakes in this photo. I think all the rest of the issues were on this huge tree. Everything else looked okay. All right, so we got an issue here. Got an issue there. Oh, got a lot of issues. But I think I can possibly fix all of this with a mask. Possibly. It'll get rid of some of them at least. If not all of them. So let's... Oh, I don't know if I actually looked over this far on this side over here. Yeah, I don't think I looked over here, but it's hopefully okay over here too. Looks good. I don't see any trees cut in half. I think we're probably good over there. Some little errors, if I notice a tiny twig that's cut off or something, I don't think anyone would notice. Oh, here's an issue. That's pretty kind of obvious, but at the same time, I almost don't care because it's a bunch of broken branches anyway, but I'll see if I can fix that. Okay, is that it? I think so, more or less. Oh, here, I thought there was something on this tree. Somehow I couldn't find it again. There it is. Okay, so that's another one. Actually, looks like it might affect the bottom of that tree too, so I'll just go like that. I think that's about it. Not too terrible. So here's what we do. This is very time consuming, but I don't mind. Okay, so that tree is the first one I'm going to fix, and the way to fix that is to just kind of pick one as your master. Like, generally I take the one that's less distorted. So this tree is distorted because it's on the edge of the lens. This one, it's more central, so it's pretty well proportioned. And then this one, it's on the edge again. So what I'll do is I will make a mask, cutting off just the bottom part of the tree that's an issue, along with that stick that was doubled on the bottom. And I always try not to cut other things in half with my mask that I think are going to cause another problem. I'll usually angle them like that. And same thing here. Mask this one off. Okay, so now I need to fix the mountain up by the skyline, and I'm going to make a mask on this one since it's near the edge and distorted. So See how I'm cutting right in the sky in between the clouds just to make sure I don't cut a cloud in half and cause another stitching issue. So I'll just come down here in the shadowy area, hopefully not cut anything in half. And then the tree, I think I'm going to keep this tree. It's almost straight on. This one's a little bit closer to the edge. I'm actually going to mask out almost that entire tree on this one, including the branches, so that none of those branches will hopefully be cut in half. Somewhere down this way, and then see if I can fix this stuff on the bottom also in the same mask. Just cut that entire huge part of the image off. Let's see what that does. I might have overdone it. The way you can tell if you overdo it, like if you cut too much off, you come to the preview, and if you see any black holes in your image, then you know you've cut off too much, but I think I'm okay. Alright, now I'll try stitching again and see if that fixes all the issues. Hopefully. Oh, let me take a quick peek. Oh, there was one over there too. Okay, I'll try to get that one. This chair is not particularly comfortable for long sessions. It's gonna be like 99 degrees Fahrenheit here tomorrow. I'd like to go somewhere, but my friend went to the beach this weekend, and when I heard that, I was like, oh man, maybe I should go to the beach, but I'm trying to save money, and every time I make those kind of big trips, I end up spending a lot of money, so it's the main reason I didn't do anything yesterday. It's also good to give my body a rest when I do a lot of hiking or a long hike. Get aches and pains here and there. Like I've been having ankle issues lately, and so it's probably good I gave it a little break. I might go out tomorrow. It's going to be crazy hot, but just do some easy walk somewhere. We'll see. Or today, I should say. It's like right around midnight or so it's kind of hard to decide if I should say today or tomorrow. Okay. At a glance, it looks perfect. I think all the problem areas have been solved. Although, what's this over here? No, it's just, that's 2 trees. That's fine. This tree is fixed. Possibly a slight error right there, but that might actually be the shape of the bark. And I'm just going to ignore that because I think it's pretty minor, even if it is a problem. This mountain looks good. Fix that. Bottom of this tree and that double stick are gone. Kind of magic how this works, really. There could be other issues that have been introduced by fixing that. Like this, I don't know. Almost looks like that little loop there is a duplicate of that, but I don't know. It's hard to know. And then all these sticks down here are fixed. And I'm guessing the entire tree line is fixed. Yep. No broken branches. Oh, here's a weird error there. So something like this, I could go in and make a new mask and re-stitch it. Oh, this is weird, actually. I wonder if that was in the other one. I didn't notice that. Like the shoreline there's has a little hiccup in it. I guess I should try to fix that. That's pretty major. And then this slope here is not quite connecting. Plus it looks a little blurry on the edge, so I can probably just chop the edge of, mask off the edge of that other image. We'll see what that does. It's worth taking the time to fix this stuff when you notice it. So that would be this one here. So I think if I add a mask cutting off pretty much all the edge of this image, can't go too far because I make a black hole where I cut off those branches. Let's see if I can go over as far as there. Let's just do that. Let's see what happens. I don't see any black holes. I think we're safe. The more you look at an image, the more you see little problems like that. I usually try not to look at them too deep because I don't want to see the problems if they're not major, but that was a pretty big one, so definitely worth fixing. One thing I wish about Hugin is that it had a dark mode. It's so bright, I can't stand it. I don't know if they'll ever add that. I should look if there's an update, but as far as I know, there's no way to theme the interface, but maybe there is. Oh, and I guess another thing I don't really like about it is it takes a long time, but it feels worth it because it does such a better job than any other program I've tried for stitching panoramas. So I don't mind being a little patient, waiting. Yeah, I don't think it has any interface themes or anything. Alright, in theory, this one should be perfect. Check that problem area. It looks good. Maybe some of these bushes are cut in half, but when you make your mask lines through a nebulous kind of cloudy object with not a lot of sharp edges, it'll usually do a pretty good job. So there is a problem right here. There's some like repeated branches, but because it's inside like that branch area, I think it's forgivable. It's a little bit blurry here, but that's kind of inside an area that's not important to the image. There's some issues here, but it's very minimal. I don't think anyone would notice that unless they were really looking close. So overall, I think it's probably ready to go. Let me just do a quick check. Emphasis on quick because the longer I look at it, the more I'll see that's wrong with it. And I'd prefer not to notice anything. I think it's good. So here's the final image. Turned out pretty nice. That's why I like spending the time to do these panoramas. They're always like the best shots overall. I don't even think I need to crop it. I could crop a little off the bottom, but I think it's good how it is. So now, let's see. Oops. This is just a little command that I run that copies the exif information from... Oh shoot, man, this has been a long time since I've done this. Tags from file, I think. So I just leave those empty so that I can push up arrow and fill them in each time. So I usually copy the exif information from the first image to the final stitched panorama just to make sure that it has everything in there. Oh, whoops, I forgot to put the... What did I do wrong? Does not exist. It's right there, man. What you talking about? I don't know what I did. That's odd. Oh, I wonder if it's because I have it open. Could that be it? Shouldn't be. I've never had it do that before. I have no idea. I guess I'll try copying it. And this one? Oh, oh, does it? No, I don't think it has to be a JPEG. I don't think so. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. I'm not in the right folder. I just went into the... yeah, okay, that's why. I'm not actually in this folder. That makes sense. Okay. There we go. Now I can delete all these component images, which saves massive disk space. Just have one. Oh, the other thing I usually do. Yeah, so I guess I was at the beginning of my stream, I was talking about the tools I use and occasionally use Affinity Photo. And this is actually one of those things I use it for. I could output a JPEG from Hugin, but I don't know, it's just old habits. It's the way I like to do it, I guess. So I just bring in the TIFF and all I do is save it as a JPEG. Typically. Occasionally I'll actually bring in these panoramas into Affinity Photo and do some editing. Like if after all that masking I was unsatisfied with some of these errors, I could come in here and actually edit it manually to my heart's content, but I usually try to get it with the masks because it's so much easier that way. Okay, so it looks good. Okay, back to capture one. Looks good. Oh, here's a vertical panorama. Yay. I was kind of, I like how the panoramas change, how they turn out, but half the time I'm like, oh, cringe. I wish I didn't take that photo because now I have to spend all the time to do all the work. But I'm always really happy with the results, so it's kind of a mixed feelings situation. Oh, nice. They do have a later version than what I have. Of course. I wonder what the changes are. Oh, cool. Let's see. Fast preview window can be panned in zoom state. I actually don't know how to zoom in that. I need to figure that out. Inside panorama sphere. Yeah, no major changes really. Nothing that I would benefit too much from. But I always like to have the latest. Anyway, so I'll eventually update that if I remember. Oh, I forgot to do something last time that I always do. It turned out okay, so it didn't end up being a big deal, but I usually get rid of Hugin's automatic exposure correction. Oops, I only grabbed 2 of those. Skip that. Let's start over. Yeah, it turned out okay last time, but usually since I'm spending all this time to expose these images how I think they look good already, it's just gonna, based on the exif information, it's gonna over adjust them most of the time. Kind of false advertising though. It looks like it's really bleeding these out in the dark ones, but when you stitch it, it never actually looks that bad, so I don't know what that's all about, but I usually just remove all of the color correction within Hugin. I allow it to do its thing as it's aligning them, but then I just reset all of the color stuff. So to do that, I come into this screen on the Photos tab, select all the images, right click, reset custom, user defined, and I have the exposure to 0, color to no color correction, and the camera response. Those are the 3 that I always reset. And then when you come back over here, well, you don't see it this time, but those bright images would have been fixed. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so let me see. Oh, cool. I didn't even know you could zoom. That's so cool. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom. I always wanted to do that. I didn't know that was a thing. Alright. And then you can... I don't know. Anyway. That's cool. I like that. This one probably won't have any major issues, although that tree might be cut in half. We'll find out soon enough. Projection, I just kind of honestly just try random stuff. I sometimes have a feel of what might work, but I just kind of run through some of the ones that I use more commonly just to see if one looks better than the other. It's not always predictable how it's gonna turn out. Wow, that's like really far out there. Rectilinear doesn't usually look good except for like architectural stuff. Cylindrical is usually good for horizontal ones. So it's usually between rectilinear, cylindrical, equirectangular, Occasionally I will look at these Mercator. I don't know how to say that word. There's a few others that I sometimes check out too, but usually it's one of these that looks best. That's kind of personal preference too. There's always going to be some form of distortion one way or the other, but let's try to minimize it. I think in this case that one looks a little better proportionally. I could save myself a little heartache by trying some masks off right off the bat, but if they're not necessary, then I don't usually do them. So it's more of a responsive thing rather than a preventative measure. Let's just see what we get. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be back, so this will probably be done when I get back. Or maybe before I go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, looks like a tree cut in half. I think I see it. Yep, a couple times. Once up there. Oh, that's all sorts of problems. Got another problem down here. This one might be a pain in the butt. I kind of figured that might happen. I feel like the lens information is not getting input properly. That's my impression, but I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, let's see what we can do. Probably should have taken more than 3 shots on this vertical if I really wanted it to turn out good, but let's see what I can do with masks first of all. Just kind of arbitrarily throw in a mask here and see what happens. That's pretty arbitrary. I don't know. I wasn't really strategizing there. I just kind of put some masks in there, see what happens. I don't know if that'll fix it or not. Probably not. Let's see. Let me try to think about this a little bit more. It's one of those tricky scenarios. I can cut a little bit more on this one, maybe. I may or may not do the trick, but I'll give it a try, see what happens. I half wonder if the fact that I'm expanding the crop on Capture 1, if that's causing some of this stuff. It's possible. It is possible. Maybe I should do an experiment with that at some point. Before I do that, I will try this, because if this fixes it, that's all I really need to do. But it could be using the lens information from the images cropped as they come. And then since I'm expanding the crop outside of the area, it could be altering that matching capability. I don't know. Just a theory. I don't know if I've ever thought of that before, but that kind of makes sense. That would be kind of disappointing if that was the case, because I do like to uncrop them whenever I'm doing panoramas, because it gives me the full amount of material to overlap on the panoramas. It's a lot better on the top, but there's still a break here. And these clouds over here look... I mean, the trees that go into the clouds look terrible. It's pretty okay until you get down here. Okay, I'm going to try that just as an experiment. I'll put a little folder here. Block. And just put these ones that I'm working on in there just as a backup, and then I'm going to... Ooh, how do I... That's a good question. How do I retrieve the original? Does that work? Not sure if that's doing what I think. We'll try that and see what happens. It's weird to me that it's bringing stuff on the sides in, but not on the top and bottom, really. Kind of peculiar. I don't know how to, oh, here we go. Reset. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, now we should be good. It's a shame though, because I really want that extra stuff, but if this works, then, I mean, if it gets rid of all those issues that I'm having when I stitch it, then I'll just consider that for the future, because that would be nice. But if it makes no difference and I still have a chopped tree, then I see no reason not to uncrop. Okay, so you'll see the difference here. Where was that? See how those are get progressively bright, or almost exponentially bright on that side. So when I come in here and reset the user-defined exposure, color, camera response, then I come back to that view. Now they're all just how I had them in Capture One. Okay, so now I will align them, see if it looks any better. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the entire issue all this time and I just didn't even think about it. Normally the stitching errors are tolerable or fixable with masks, but maybe I just won't even really have that many issues now if I don't uncrop the images like I habitually do. That would be awesome. Awesome and annoying at the same time, because I like that extra material on the sides, but it's not. I'd rather have a cleanly stitched image and lose a little bit of material. Let's look. Oh, I don't know if that's any better. I do still see a tree chopped in half, but we'll see what it does. So I guess I can zoom in to see, sort of. Yeah, it's still chopped in half, but we'll see. It may not make any difference. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see if that did anything better. No. I think it's less extreme on the breaks on the tree, but they're still there. The top actually looks pretty acceptable. There might be a slight issue right here, but generally speaking, it's looking pretty good until right about here. You got, oh man, that's all over the place. Got two pretty big breaks. However, this, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's better. I think it's a little bit better, but it's still pretty broken. Can't tell if this is a break here or if that's actually the shape. It's kind of better just to say, it's fine. If I can't even tell if it's a break, I just usually let it go because it's sometimes hard to fix that stuff. This tree looks weird. Guess I'll try a mask just to see if it helps. It is definitely better, but I don't know if it's enough better that I would do it that way because I really like uncropping the images, getting more scenery on the sides. Definitely wasn't a universal fix. I thought maybe that would be a magical fix. Honestly, it didn't make much difference. I'm curious about that. I can't tell if that's part of the bush shape or if that's actually a problem. Let me look at the original. Oh, that's the shape. Interesting. Okay. I feel like the color looks weird. That looks terrible right there. I wonder if that's what my original files look like, or if it got kind of baked there a little bit somehow. Guess it kind of looks like that. Yeah, it crunched. Well, some of these situations I start thinking, like, do I really even care about this image enough to fix it? Because I can fix that, but it's like a lot of work, and sometimes it's better just give up on it. But I think I'm resurrecting the original one that had more stuff on the sides. I think that's what this is. Okay, so I'm going to go with the first one. I'm going to do a little bit of photo editing on it and see if I can get any of that stuff to look better. If not, I might end up not keeping this image. It's not, I mean, it's nice, but, you know, I already have a bunch of stuff. Some of this might be problematic. Ugh. Now let's just see what I can do. Just do a quick job and see if it comes out acceptable or not. This part is going to be super hard to fix. That's really messed up. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards just getting rid of this image because it's annoying. Some of this I can sort of fix, but some of it's just like, I mean, technically everything is fixable, but it's like, do I want to spend all this time or not? Probably not. Like, sometimes you get lucky and find a clone spot that just like fits or works, whatever, but other times it's like, is this worth all this effort? That area is always going to look crappy. And that's kind of the highlight, I mean, one of the focal points, because that's where the sun is. I think I'm just going to... I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to try one more crop attempt, or mask attempt. Let's see if I can get lucky here. Otherwise, I'll probably just delete it because I don't really want to mess with it. Let's get these back out because these were my uncropped or reverse cropped. I don't know how to describe that. I'll try one more time. there's a black hole like I was talking about. So I cut out too much. Kind of hard to comprehend sometimes. So let's see. Alright, let's see what happens there. I don't know if that'll make any positive difference. So at a glance, it looks less broken. Probably still broken, but maybe not as bad. A lot closer. Now there's some definite major exposure problems here, like a jump from really more of a rich green to more of an army green here, but I don't know. There's definitely less tree breakage than before though. But now the color matching has become more of the issue. Never going to be able to actually totally get rid of that massive contrast there. Like, oh yeah, I got this stupid stuff going on too. This is an issue that happens with stitched images that I don't understand. I've never been able to figure out how to fix it. But in the black areas, you get these stupid bright pixels. Yeah, it's really annoying. I think it's something Hugin is doing. It's probably could have it relate to the reset of things that I'm doing too. I'm about to give up on this one just because not happy with the results and I don't really feel like messing with it much. It's annoying junk. Yeah, I don't really feel like messing with this anymore. It's just getting kind of boring, getting old. Like when you have certain type levels of issues, they essentially feel unfixable. I mean, you can get them looking better, but it's never going to be satisfactory to me. So I'm just going to cut my losses on this one, and sometimes it's kind of a relief to get rid of one. So yeah, one less image. I sometimes take too many photos on hikes anyway. Plus the next photo or the previous photo is often very similar, so I feel like I'm not really losing much most of the time. Like this one's almost the same angle and probably better. I took a couple panoramas here, so I should really just pick the best of them so that I don't do a bunch of unnecessary work. Probably that first one is a little... This one has nicer... I don't know. Sometimes I have to do them both just to make a decision on which one I like better. Okay, got rid of one of those, actually two of them, so I really only have this one panorama left to do, so that saved me some time. Go over here. I think I kind of determined that that crop issue that I was talking about wasn't a major contributor to the situation. It's hard to tell if it made it significantly worse or because it's significantly better by keeping the original crop. I don't feel like it made much difference. So I'm just going to go back to my old habit of uncropping it so I get the maximum amount of material to work with. Who knows, this one might end up being just as unsavable. Usually the horizontal ones work out a little bit better than the vertical panoramas, but you never know. I thought that might happen. So there's a couple lens flares because they were different angles with each shot, but I can probably live with that, but I might see if it's possible to get rid of one or the other. Otherwise, I mean, at a glance it looks perfect. I can't see anything cut in half, but obviously the longer, closer you look at it, the more you find junk, but I'm guessing usually horizontal stitchings go a lot better than the vertical ones, so it's probably good. Let me see if I can do anything about that double lens flare though, see where they're coming in and if I can mask one of them out, possibly. Got one there. Okay, I might be able to do that. Get rid of this one. That one I don't think was in the final image anyway, but then I can get rid of this one also. I might be able to get rid of all of them, but I'll try. I mean, if there's one in there, it's fine, but I just don't want to have several. Yeah, I think it's quite feasible. I might be able to get rid of all of them, so I'll try for that. Yay, no lens flares. Looks better. A little bit blurry in that image. That probably was focusing on the foreground, but it's hardly noticeable and not really an issue. A little bit of duplication down there at the bottom of the dirt. Two of these little things, but hardly noticeable, so I'm going to let that go. Overall, it looks pretty good. Oh, crap. Spoke too soon. Somehow this tree got cut in half. Okay. Also, is this... Looks like two... That might be two trees, not like a duplicate error thing, but I need to fix this one, that's for sure. Pain in the butt. Okay. Fix that tree, make sure that's two trees in the original. Yep, there's two trees there, so I just need to fix that one. Should be able to do that. That's a pretty natural transition, I must say. I have no idea what happened there. Pretty cool, though. Basically, I ruptured the space-time fabric of the universe. I don't know. Anyway, I have no idea what's going on there. It might be the fact that I had two overlapping masks, like right here. I can't think of any other reason, so I'm just going to try getting rid of those both. And making a single one there. That's very odd. Never seen that happen before. Man, that's really weird. It's got to have something to do with the masks. That is very bizarre, very annoying. It might just be that they're too close together. I have no idea. I feel like that really shouldn't be happening. Maybe I have to leave this one in. I'm just gonna try that. I'll leave this, get rid of this mask and just see if that helps anything. Okay. Yeah, that's a good compromise. I don't care if there's one lens flare. I just thought it looked weird to have multiple, so we will... Actually, if I really wanted to get crazy, I could probably get rid of that one too. Let's see, I'm pretty sure that was the only real error. That tree, which should be all fixed now. Looks good to me. I guess I'll try it just for fun. Not that it's all that fun, but let's see if I can get rid of that other lens flare. Way more trouble than it's worth, honestly. Let's see. Every once in a while, Affinity Photo crashes, and it seems to usually be when I'm doing stuff with very large images and maybe those perspective and mesh warp tools. I don't know. Might be coincidence, but usually when I'm working on these panorama stuffs, like, not usually, but sometimes get a crash. I think I was able to save it before it crashed, so I don't have to do all that junk again. And although it's probably not perfect, I don't think there's anything here that anyone would really notice. So I got rid of the lens flare. It's not perfect, but it's decent. And that's it for that one. Do my little exif thing here. Yeah, it's crazy how long panoramas take to work on, but I'm almost always happy with them, except for that last one that I just deleted. That happens more often on vertical panoramas, and there are ways to fix them. I just don't usually like to spend that much time on a single image. So there's the final one for that. I think it looks pretty good. Might even be the best image of the set, so definitely worth spending a little extra time on a panorama like that. Okay, just one more image left, and it might not even be worth doing, but I'll just... This looked a lot cooler in person. The light was shining through these flowers, but sometimes they just don't turn out very good. this image. It looks blurry. Probably this top stem of leaves, stem of flowers was like moving in the wind, and it was low light, so yeah, I'm just gonna delete that one. It's junk. Didn't turn out. So let's see. Kind of crazy how few images it ends up being in the end. Oh, wait a minute, this isn't right. Something's not right. I skipped one or something. That's weird. Wasn't paying attention, I guess. Did I? Maybe I didn't. I think I'm good. No. Yeah, there's two here. For some reason I didn't do that one or that one. Probably got distracted with one of my panoramas, so I guess I got two more to do. And if they turn out to be just kind of ho-hum average things, I can always just delete them, you know? So we'll see what I can do. I don't usually do masking within Capture One, but every once in a while it's kind of fun. This bottom area looks a little bit too purpley for me, but I don't want to affect the entire image, so I'm just going to change the white balance just on the bottom area, just so it doesn't look quite as purpley down there. Technical term. And there's before and there's after. In reality, it probably was a little bit purpley because it was in the shadow shade area, but you know, the things and stuff. It's good enough, I guess. Nothing special, but whatever. I have to do the same on this one. Bottom part, just to bring out some of that, or add a little warmth on the bottom that would be too excessive for the top. Like if I warm it up so that the bottom looks about where I want it, the top looks yellow, so kind of add a little bit of warmth to the whole thing. And then do the layer thingy. It has a really intelligent mask refining thing on it. Capture one, that is. I really like. You can just get kind of close to where you think you should mask. It doesn't have to be exact. Kind of in the ballpark there. Like, I'm not gonna mask out all those needles, right? That'd be a waste of time. But get kind of close, more or less. Not perfect, not even close to perfect. Maybe get a little bit closer than that. That's pretty bad. But you can do it pretty rough. And then you just do this magical refine thing. Set the radius pretty high, usually works pretty good. And it pretty well follows the outlines of everything. I mean, it's not perfect, but see, it's pretty good. So that's just selecting the kind of the foreground areas. And then I can add some warmth to that. Maybe some clarity too. Yeah, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of playing around with stuff. Don't want to overdo it with the warmth there, but generally I think it looks kind of good. It's not really the best image anyway. I mean, it's okay, but not great. There's before, really kind of dull and dark, and then there's like making it pop a little bit, which may be over the top, but hey, you know, whatever. Whatever. Just kind of a personal taste thing. Okay, so let's get on that one. There's before and there's after. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this little batch. Kind of crazy how much work it is for so few images, but it's mainly because it's so many panorama shots, and I'm never really totally happy with them. This one's kind of dark and dingy a little bit, but that's probably more or less what it looked like, so it was in the shadows on that side, but I could pull out some more details from those shadows if I really wanted to, but truth be told, I don't want to. So then the next step that I do is I have this, okay, so I do 7:01:57, so that would be 19:01:57. So I look at the exif information, 19:13:54. So I try to do the math in my head, and I never can. I can maybe get close though. I need to take off 12 minutes, 11 minutes, and 5. 11:57. That's my guess. Let's try that. So if I have this program installed, it's like a shell modifier. So it's called change attributes. So what you can do is you can go in here and change a bunch of stuff. So what I can change the, what is it? Oh, yeah. Add, subtract, offset values. So changing the photo date and time, and I'm not changing that. I don't think the date was wrong. So we had, my guess was -11, -57 seconds. Let's just see if that's right. Probably wrong, but I maybe got it closer. So now let's look at the exif. We got 19:01:57. Hey, my math was right. Okay. Hopefully the date is still correct. Maybe it's not. No, that's right. It's the right date. So they're at the right time. So now they're all shifted correctly. That's why I take that photo, so I can fix the time in all of them. And then I go back and do a second modification to make the actual file date and time match what I just did here. So take the changes off there and make this match the picture date and time. That way there's no doubt. And then to make it final, I use a renaming program, which I like this one. It's called Renamer. And I put these all in here and change the file name to be the same as the date and time they were taken. So that's kind of like my preferred naming convention. And that way everything matches: the file, date, time, and the exif information and the file name, they all match. And then now that I have that in there, I can come into a program like Basecamp, or there's other ways to do it. I can find this hike because I recorded this hike. That should be it. Yeah, and so I can right click on that and geotag photos using track, find my folder. And you could also shift it here, but it's better to do it beforehand. It just makes more sense to me. I found all those that match the time, geotagged them, and now they're all geotagged with the proper coordinates because I offset the time to match the actual time. Now when we come in here, we can go to like yeah, now this is the park, and this is where I was hiking, and there's the beginning of the hike, so I can kind of just visually confirm that it's accurate because I took the first photo and it's actually right there. It's perfect, right by the parking lot. So that's kind of cool. So now they're all geotagged, which matches the location with the where they were taken. Some cameras have built-in, GPS. Mine does not. So I have to go through this extra process. But even if you have it built in, it's not always best to use it because it uses a lot of battery power and whatnot. But it is a cool feature to have in your camera. It would save me some time. Plus, I wouldn't have to do the time offset because I think it would automatically fix my internal camera clock when it does that function, probably. Not really sure, but I'm guessing that cameras are smart enough to do that. I can connect my camera to my phone. I could make a habit of doing that, or at least check it out, because maybe if I connect it to the phone, it's smart enough to have a little program that syncs to my phone time, but I've never actually tried that. They should, cameras should do stuff like that. Because, anyway, who cares? Nobody cares. So here's my small set of photos that I did. It's crazy how long it takes. This is why I'm so far behind, because I spend like hours working on a small set of photos, and I have like hundreds of hikes that I've gone on. It just takes forever. This is actually the photo I used for my intro screen. It's from this random hike here. But yeah. So I finished one. I'll probably end the stream there. I could keep going, but I don't know. I'll probably end the stream and I might come back. I might not. You never know what I'm going to do. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. I will catch you all later.